Welcome back for the second portion of Joy in Our Town. Thank you for joining us once again. I'm your host, Tammy Jo Johnson. Our guest for this segment is Derrick Russell, CEO and founder for Listen Good Youth of Central Ohio. He joins us today to discuss juvenile reentry and recidivism, along with the impact that recidivism has on adulthood. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and you're the CEO and founder of this movement. Tell us what it's called again, and then tell us what the mission is.
Yes, it's Listen Good Youth. It is geared towards at-risk youth and kids that may be on the border of getting in trouble and keeping them out of gangs and guiding them on the right path.
Do you find that your program is unique here in Central Ohio?
Oh, yes, absolutely. One of the things it is that a lot of our youth today need an organization like this, and there is many more that do the similar type of work, is that particularly coming from someone who's been there and done that and understand that culture and that lifestyle, what it is, and aiming that message into them. You got to get it right or you'll be heading this direction.
Okay. So you're more like you come in to play so that they don't head down that road.
Yes.
And I know that you said that your organization has a lot of different avenues, like a lot of different things in the community. Tell me what those are.
Yes, we do free tutoring, free mentoring, free football, free cheerleading. We do gang awareness, and we do social manners, working on social manners.
Nice. And just the recreation alone, you said it was free?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a big deal.
Yes. One thing we do with the sports part is it's really a hook. See, we want to get them in there, that's something they like to do, but there's some requirements that they got to be able to obtain while they're inside the organization. Basically, they got to have a certain grade point average to participate. If their grades slipped, then they have to go through a mandatory tutoring, either through us or their parents have to put them through some type of tutoring. So we want to prepare them to get ready for the next level. We don't want to be a football or a sports organization as well, where we just put a helmet and a shoulder pad or a cheerleading uniform on our kids and say, that's it. Because we really have a strong hold on them while they come through our programs to participate in sports.
Wow, that's amazing. So, I mean, even in that, tell us what juvenile recidivism is.
Well, what it is that someone that may have been incarcerated, released, and then went back for the same crime or a different crime. Okay. That's what that is.
Okay. Wow. And how much of a problem is that here in Central Ohio?
Well, it's a big problem, although statistics kind of say that it went down due to different other types of programs that they may have. But then you got to kind of look at the nature of the crimes, though. So I look at it as still high, but it is good to have other alternatives than just locking the kid up.
Right. And I mean, there are a lot of factors that contribute to juvenile recidivism. It could be putting them back into their community that they left with no. What are some of the other ones? That's the obvious one.
Yeah. One thing about it, when leaving prison, you got to have a good support system. You know, if you ain't got a strong support system, that alone can lure you into doing other things. So sometimes the family may not want you back. So what's going to be the next alternative? How are we going to provide something for this kid so he don't get caught back up into the system? Right. So it's a whole lot to play inside of that, going back into their own community. Maybe they might say, well, I need to go back into my community because that's where I'm getting the love at. And although it can be love that they may not understand, we would call it false love. Mm-hmm. But without understanding, they looking at it as love.
That's good, right. So are you partnered with some of the other resources to where it helps them provide housing and food and clothing, all the basic stuff before they get into the...
We got a resource, a guide where we can guide them into. One thing with the mentoring program, one of the strong points that I kind of like aimed on was getting them back in school and found a lot of work for a lot of the youth, and, and that helped out a whole lot.
Okay.
In that, yes.
So putting them back in school and finding them work?
Yes.
Okay. So you're partnered with some of the, are you familiar with a lot of the youth summer programs that they have where they pay them to work and all that?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And I know that adults who have been incarcerated and they come out, they have a really hard time dealing with just finding a job and things like that. Do you find that juveniles have the same issue?
Yes, they do. One thing about dealing with that thing is that's why it's very important that they have a coach, mainly the juveniles, because their mind is more immature than the adults. So, and they can act out more in a different way as well. So yeah, so you really got to have that strong mentor or that organization or that support to help them really find the things that they need. So it's like nurturing them. You got to be step by step. You can't be in and you can't be out. You got to really guide this thing all the way for them.
Do they pick their own mentors or are they assigned one?
Well, it depends on certain. Their parole officer might pick it, or their probation officer, or the judge, or someone in their case manager while they're involved, or they may look on the internet, a family member or someone, or referral, like that.
So when you talk about youth recidivism and them reentering society and then going back into the system, statistics say that youth gangs play a part in that. What part do they play?
What it is that they play in the part about if the youth ain't got no support system.
Okay.
So if he don't have all those things, like someone there for him, a family or a mentor, he don't have no job or anything like that. So it's easier for the gang to lure that youth in, because why? He's giving him something that he need.
Right.
And
that's where that false love comes in.
That's
that you
where
were
that false
talking
love,
about.
absolutely.
That makes sense. So do you think that the recidivism affects juvenile men and women the same, or do you think it's different?
Well, everyone perceives life differently, so it's differently. But it can be similar, but it's all something that can affect male or female. So it can be different. Some may affect them in a more way where it's more hurtful to them. It may hurt some where they can get stung by a little bit and move on. So it varies on an individual.
Do the programs that you have in place, like the sports program and the cheerleading and things like that, the tutoring, do you see that as being helpful? Like, have you had a chance? I don't know how long you've been in existence, but do you have a chance to see that all the way through?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Into adulthood?
Absolutely.
Tell us a story about one.
Well, 1 year through the department of DYS, I won the most longest mentor award and the most creative mentor. See, when I'm saying you got to really be a part of whoever come in contact with you, you really got to walk them step by step. You can't be a mentor. You can't be no one to just say, okay, did you go check on that?
Right.
Did you go
or
do
hand
that?
them paperwork.
Hand the paperwork and all that. No, but man, I got so many stories that I can share with you, and so many different letters and from the youth that you helped me out, and the parents for helping them, go on to a better lifestyle.
Yeah. So with those ex-juvenile offenders, how are they doing in adulthood?
A lot of them I lost contact with now that they're adult, but for the majority of them, the ones I do still see out there, so I can say that they maintaining. So yeah, so for the ones that, got past that juvenile stage, and the ones who may reach back and say, you might need some help or assistance, but I can say that the most of them, they maintaining.
So what do you see for the future of Listen Good Youth? What do you see for the future successes of that program that you have?
Oh, to continue doing the work that we know we need to do out here in the community. That's success in itself. So really continuing to helping people get from one point to another.
In your professional opinion, what can families and communities do to help assist you with your efforts with juvenile recidivism?
If you know your child is in some type of danger or some type of trouble and need help, reach out. Because everybody needs somebody. If you can't do it, reach out, because you hurting the child in that way. And then within the community as well. It goes for both the parent and the community. If you know children out there that need some help, some assistance, reach out to an organization and try to get some help.
And what if it is a youth offender that's watching the program? What would you suggest for them?
Yes, I would suggest for them, wherever it's a bad situation, you can always pull a good out of it. Don't make your circumstances 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times worse than what it is. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to talk to someone.
And I mean, because what you're doing is amazing, and I know that there are agencies that are helping adults, but a lot of times the juvenile offenders are forgotten. It's like they go from juvenile offenders to adult offenders, and there's a gap, and nobody understands what that gap is. And it sounds like what you're doing is you're trying to stop them from going back into the juvenile system and also going into the adult system.
Absolutely.
Right. Do you have a lot? How many youth do you have right now?
Well, we currently have over like 250 youth to come through our program. Yes.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you have any special events that you want to talk about coming up? Or?
Oh yeah, we got the special event. It's called Education is the Key. It's a youth football game where we're going to be stressing about the importance of education, because many of our youth don't even make it to the 9th grade from Little League sports to even play high school sports. Right. They either dropped out, joined the gang, or incarcerated, or even deceased by violent crime or something of that nature. So we want to spread that awareness that education piece is important at a young age through this bowl game that we're having. So we'll have live interview with the youth, East youth that have met that requirement of academics with good grades. We want to make sure that they get recognized and acknowledged, and we want to also stay with them and guide them further on, because you can lose track some type of way. We want to always be there with them on that. So that's a special event that we got going on, I think, it as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derrick, for being here with us today. We really appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. Yeah.
That's our program. Thank you so much for watching. You can also check us out on Facebook at WSFJ-TV51. Join us again next week at the same time for Joy in Our Town.
This program has been sponsored by the Trinity Broadcasting Network and is made possible by your telethon dollars. Your continual support can keep Joy in Our Town coming to your home every week. Write to Joy in Our Town, 7790 North Central Drive, Lewis Center, Ohio, 43035.